Okay, what we're getting ready to work on right now is to take the tail light bucket housing, however you want to call it, and to replace the pigtail and cup that's down inside of it that actually holds the bulb. If you've ever had one that was old and cracked and pretty worthless, then you know that they're pretty worthless. The problem is that for a 1960 model, the parts are simply not available to replace the entire thing. Now the pigtails are available, but not the little brass socket that the bulb actually fastens to. So I was able to find the entire socket actually at O'Reilly's, AutoZone, Napa, any of your retail parts stores would have it. It's just a little brass cup, little socket that the bulb goes into. The pigtail is actually in there and will come out separately, and that's going to come into play here in a moment. And we're going to work on doing a little repair here. Obviously, one of the first things that we need to do is to get the socket out of the housing here. And I'm sure that there are a lot better ways to do this than I am doing it, but well, this is how I'm going to do it. Little cheap Leatherman tool. It's not a very fancy one even at that. I apologize if you're having to look at my considerable girth, but I don't have anywhere else really to put this stuff to work on it. And 2 million miles of driving a truck kind of took its toll on me. Alright, see there we've got this exposed, and you can see one of the reasons that this was a problem area with Ford and just about everybody that back when they use these is this is galvanized steel or tin or whatever kind of cheap pot metal that is. This is brass. So when you have the two metals that are together and different conductivity, and there's a lot of corrosion there. You can see it. I've got some green on my knife. So the old joke that you hear about having a Ford and got any electrical problems? Well, not today. Well, there's a reason for that apparently, and it was a kind of a poor design on this part. And people kind of make that joke about Fords, but I've had an old Chevy too, and it wasn't much better. So we're going to pry this out and hopefully pry it out here within a reasonable amount of time, since y'all are having to watch me do it. And I actually got stopped one time by an officer. They said, "You know, you have a tail light out?" And I said, "Well, walk back there and slap it and see if it comes on." And he just kind of looked at me funny, so I walked back and slapped the bed right by the tail light, and sure enough, it came on. And he just kind of laughed. He said, "Yeah, I guess I've had those old farm trucks too." Okay, what we're getting ready to show you, or I'm getting ready to show you right now, is a symptom of ignorance. And you need to take the bulb out first. Don't be stupid like I am. Of course, the bulb's broken and frozen in there, so this isn't going to be pretty. Okay. Bulb removed. It comes out considerably better. Now you can see, or I can see, you may not be able to, there are, I'm going to try to get it up here real close, there are some pretty sizable, for what it needs to do, cracks. And those don't affect the functioning of the light very much, but they do affect how well it stays in, because these ears are what holds the bulb in. The pigtails are actually in pretty good shape, Honestly, if it wasn't for the fact that that was cracked, I wouldn't be changing it, but it is cracked, so bye-bye. What you want to do now is just go around, probably use a little bit better set of pliers, and just go around and kind of bend in some spots where that can make better contact, because the new socket is slightly smaller than the old was. Kind of like so. And as you can see, it's been done on this one already, and it makes a, honestly, it's pretty good squeeze on it right there already. But we're going to solder it, and that way we know for sure that it's going to stay, and it makes better connection. There should be less corrosion. I actually, with that one being so rusty like that, I may sandblast it before it gets repaired. That is one of the specialized tools that I have that I'm very blessed to have, is we have a very large sandblaster in our possession. But we take that, pop it out of there, and this one should not be frozen up, but it was acting kind of like it. Slide your pigtail out, and now you have a brass, or at least brass coated socket, and the housing apparatus in which to put it. And now we will get started soldering.